Nobody at all in our entire system, and society is more responsible ultimately for us, in a state where we're spending, huge amounts of trillions and trillions on war and, you know, over resources and oil and all that other stuff than the very people who have been the majority in power for the longest time. I mean, if you're going to make a comment like that, I mean, how dumb do you have to be condemning somebody for saying fuck Elon and fuck, Trump, Like, the Republicans just did everything they could to eliminate the cafe fuel standards, and reset them to zero instead of doing the one sensible thing, which was making sure they applied to light trucks, because that'll send the whole industry into a tailwind where it stops, being, nearly as profitable to make trucks and light trucks and basically anything that's an SUV. Also, I get really upset because when it comes to gas prices, we're willing to blame the president all the time when a Democrat's in power, not when a Republican's in power. But on top of that, nobody ever seems to sit here and say, what about all the people that are driving SUVs and trucks that they don't need, that they're not using to go off-road, that they're not using to haul a bunch of shit around, that they don't actually really need, they just feel safer in them. How many people are driving cars like that in the United States, And why does nobody ever, call them out and say, you're part of the reason why we spend so much on gasoline and gasoline prices are so high, because you grossly misuse the fuel and you're a gas guzzler, to get around when you go out. What about... You're contributing to it. You've put, basically the laws of supply and demand. You push a lot of demand onto gasoline by using it so inefficiently, so you are responsible for the prices being as high as they are. You share some of the responsibility, and it's like, it doesn't, it's very strange, but nobody is ultimately more responsible for the horror show than Elon Musk and Trump. Musk, because that idiot, despite, making and owning an EV company, is bankrolling the campaigns of Trump, who is doing everything he can to abolish those cafe fuel standards and reset them to absolute zero. And dear Toyota, if you hear me and you're watching this video, please understand that the fuel efficiency is going to be the most critical factor of us deciding what car we buy. I'm saving up for one. I don't care if there are no cafe fuel standards. If the fuel efficiency doesn't keep going up, you will not get my business.